everyone, we're on page 220 of Unit 10, and this is reading 1, The Savage Mountain. So in this video, we're just going to look at the reading passage here and the vocabulary words. So, the Savage Mountain. Now, I know savage means wild and dangerous, like an animal ripping apart its prey. So I know right away this is not a friendly or easy mountain to climb. So my first sentence says K2, and here K2 is the name of the mountain. K2 is unique in high altitude mountaineering. Mountaineering is climbing mountains at a high altitude. Although shorter than Mount Everest, and in these parentheses, it gives me another name for Mount Everest. A lot of mountains were named after Europeans, but they might also have local or indigenous names. So this mountain is also called Mount Kumolangma by 240 meters. So it's shorter than Mount Everest. So it should be easier to climb, right? It has long been known as the Mountaineer's Mountain. I wonder why. Its distinctive shape. Now here I see 2 dashes, so this tells me I have an appositive. We talked about this briefly. The positive is when you get extra information, and here it's between 2 dashes. So my sentence is, its distinctive shape, subject, makes, verb, it the classic image of a mountain. So what about its distinctive shape? This is the extra information here. The distinctive shape, it has a towering, triangular silhouette, which is another word for shadow, with steep slopes. So I know that steep means that it goes up at a sharp angle. So this is not steep, this is flat. Steep slopes, goes up very quickly. So it has a towering triangular silhouette or shadow, and I can see there by looking up here, it has this towering triangular shadow with steep slopes. It makes it the classic image of a mountain, but it also makes K2 one of the most difficult and dangerous to climb. So why is it unique? It has towering, steep slopes, and it makes it one of the most difficult and dangerous to climb. By 2010, Everest had been climbed more than 5,000 times. In contrast, means but or however, I'm getting opposite information, K2 had been successfully climbed just over 300 times. 5,000 Everest, 300 times K2. For every 4 climbers who've succeeded, 1 K2 climber has died. So those are my statistics. For every 4 that have succeeded, 1 has died. So 1 in 4 of these climbers are dying on this mountain. That's 25% death rate. And I'm guessing that's why it's called the Savage Mountain. Charles Houston and Robert Bates titled the account, that's the book, of their failed 1953 expedition. An expedition is a journey somewhere for a specific goal, usually to discover something or to do something for the first time. So they titled their account, their book of their failed 1953 expedition. This is the title of their book, K2, The Savage Mountain. A year later, K2 was finally conquered by an Italian expedition that put 2 men on the top via the Pakistani side of the mountain. So part of this mountain is in Pakistan. So a year later, K2 was finally conquered. So 1954 was the first time someone got to the top. The diagram on these pages shows the route taken by the 2011, so many years later, K2 North Pilar Expedition. Most attempts to reach the summit, and I know summit means the peak, it says right up there, summit, of K2 come from the Pakistani side. The approach via the north side is even more challenging and rarely attempted. So I can guess, if everybody comes from the Pakistani side, it's probably the easiest side of the mountains and possibly the safest. Okay, let's look at those questions then. What makes K2 difficult to climb? High altitude, towering triangular, steep slopes, and it's very dangerous. What do you think is significant about the Pakistani side of the mountain? We said that's probably safest. And number 3, why do you think K2 is called savage? Well, it told us for every 4 climbers who've succeeded, 1 K2 climber has died. That's a huge death rate. Okay, let's take a look at vocabulary. They're all nouns in the text, so they're blue words here. Slopes, expedition, and summit. So a trip made for a specific purpose would be expedition. A surface that is at an angle like this would be slope. And the top of the mountain, we said, was the summit. Okay, join us for the next video where we'll take a look at this amazing infographic.